Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and today I'm going to be guiding you through this 60-minute power yoga flow. So all you'll need today is a yoga mat, preferably if you have one. If you don't, that's okay. Any surface that's gentle on the knees and the wrist will be just fine. And then if you have a yoga block, that will be great. If you don't, you can stack some books, a textbook, anything that's just going to elevate the floor closer to you. This comes in handy. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to come into a comfortable child's pose at the back of the mat, just taking the knees to the edges of your mat, the toes touch, and walk the torso forward, allowing the third eye to rest on the mat. Tuning into your breath as you begin to settle into this space. We want to take nice deep belly breaths here. So take a nice long inhale through the nose. Feel the belly expand. And as you exhale, let it go back out the nose, feeling the belly collapse. Starting to find a nice fluid rhythm with the breath. We start to fire up our Ujjayi breath, our victorious breath. Just starting to warm the body from the inside and out. We'll find some micro movements in the body, lifting onto the fingertips, so the creases of the wrists and elbows lift off of the mat. Then we want to roll the shoulder blades down the spine, pressing the hips back onto the heels, getting a nice stretch along the vertebrae. See if you can roll the shoulders under, feeling a nice sensation. On your next inhalation, lift the torso and walk the body over to the right side. We're finding a nice intercostal stretch here. So as we inhale, we feel a nice lengthening in the left side body. And as we exhale, we contract in the right side, pulling us deeper into the pose. We want to focus on rolling the left shoulder under and pressing the hips back onto the heels to accomplish that nice side body stretch. You can stay here if this is feeling good for you, or maybe walk the fingertips just a little bit more towards that right side. Just finding a little bit deeper of a sensation. Inhale, lift the body, walking through center. Take it on over to the left side, coming into a right side intercostal stretch. So again, we feel the sensation in the right side of our body as we contract in the left. Just really finding the duality of this space. In yoga, we link breath to movement. So allow your breath to facilitate this stretch. Again, pressing the hips back onto the heels. You can stay here for a gentle side body opener, or maybe inch the fingertips a little bit more towards that left side. Whatever feels best for you today. Know that each and every day is different. So we really just want to connect with what our body is telling us on the mat in this present moment. Inhale, lift the body. Walking back to center, allow the third eye to rest on the mat, child's pose. Taking a few moments here to set an intention for your practice. An intention can be a thought, a dedication, a mantra, anything that's going to guide you through your practice. Yoga is the practice of moving our bodies with intention. So we want to remember to honor the intention we are setting in this present moment as we move through the rest of the flow. On your next inhale, we shift forward, finding our hands and knees, tabletop pose. Taking a moment to check our alignment here, we want the shoulders stacked over the wrists, the hips over the knees. We have a nice long spine, and the core is slightly engaged here. Really spread through those fingertips and tuck your back toes. As you inhale, allow the belly to drop, lifting the gaze, lifting the tailbone, coming into cow pose. We draw the chin away from the chest and spread through the clavicles. Exhale, untuck the toes, press into the floor to round and curl, puffing up that spine for cat pose. We're drawing the navel into the spine. Tuck the toes, allow the belly to drop. Exhale, press into the floor, round and curl. Move through a few more cat-cows at your own pace, just gently working the spine open. We begin to calm the central nervous system here as we work into the cervical spine. Go ahead and turn this into your dancing lion. So we just want to circle out the hips, maybe rock the feet from side to side. Dancing lion is a free body movement. There is no right or wrong here. It's just a great way to scan the body to notice any tightness or soreness or any sticky spaces. And maybe you decide to send a little extra attention to those places as we move through the rest of our flow. Slowly working our way back into tabletop, finding stillness here. We're going to spread the fingertips nice and wide, and we're tucking the back toes. Begin to engage the core muscles. Feel the rib cage wrap in. We're hugging muscle to bone. We're pressing into the floor. And on your next inhale, see if you can lift the knees about 1/2 inch off of the mat, so the shins are parallel with the earth. You're going to immediately feel the core engage. The quads are starting to fire up, moving into a bigger muscle group. You can hold here, or maybe shift your weight forward and back, really getting into those quad muscles, but we're engaging the core here. You might be starting to shake. On your next inhale, we lift the hips back and up, pressing into downward facing dog. Go ahead and adjust your stance here, walking the hands forward, the feet slightly back, finding a nice upside down V shape with the body. The spine is long, the neck hangs heavy. We want to rotate our elbow creases forward. And we're pressing our weight into the back body. It's totally okay if those feet don't touch the mat at this point in our practice. The hamstrings are typically really tight. So just breathing here. Downward facing dog is one of the most fundamental poses in our practice. So we really want to find some comfort here. Maybe start to walk out your dog, pedaling out the feet, bend and straighten the knees, waking up the back of those legs. Start to take the eye gaze towards the top of the mat. We're going to tiptoe the feet to meet the hands, coming into a forward fold. You can keep the feet hips width distance or keep the feet together, whichever you prefer. We're just going to hang heavy here, so allow the head to fall towards the earth, grab opposite elbows, and just sway the body side to side, feeling a nice release in the back. You can bend into the knees as much as you need here. The more you bend the knees, the more we decongest the low back. Go ahead and let it go. The fingertips brush the earth. And we're going to roll all the way up to standing. Slowly as we can, one vertebrae at a time. And then we roll those shoulders up, back, and down at the top of the mat. Inhale the arms overhead, lift the gaze, lengthen through the sides of the body and rooting into the ground here. Exhale, we swan dive, forward fold. So from our forward fold, as we inhale, we're going to slide the fingertips up the shins and we look out halfway. We have a nice flat back here. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, rolling the hands up the shins, look out and lengthen. Nice flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. 1 more. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands on the mat, we're going to bring the left foot into the center line and step back with the right foot, coming into a lunge pose. Adjusting your stance here and drop the knee, untuck the toes. We're going to inhale the arms overhead, pulling the torso back. And we're starting to shift the hips forwards. We should feel a nice sensation along the front of the right hip. Again, we're lengthening through the sides of the body as we want to drop the shoulders away from the ears. Knee down lunge pose. Again, just gently working into the body here. We're going to go ahead and take a side bend here. So release the right hand towards the earth. If you have a block, you can place the right hand on a block. Once we've dropped that arm, we're going to lean over to the right, keeping those hips squared off here and keeping the knee hugging in. We're just getting into the left side of the body here. We also want to focus on rolling the shoulder back. Come back to center. Bending to the other side, creating some balance here. Release the left arm towards the mat. Reaching over to the left, getting into the right side body here. Rolling the shoulder open, peeling the chest back. Inhale. Come back to center. Exhale, lower the hands, hands frame the foot. Untuck the toes. Tuck the toes straight and into the leg. Hands frame the foot, step the left foot back, plank pose. We're going to move through our first vinyasa, so feel free to drop the knees if you need. As we inhale, we shift our weight forward so the shoulders are forward of the wrists. As we exhale, we lower down halfway, keeping those elbows tucked in close to the body. Those hips are high, we don't want to sink, and the shoulders are facing forward. Inhale, we pull the upper body through, coming into our upward facing dog or cobra pose. So with cobra, the thighs are going to rest on the mat. With upward facing dog, there's only 2 points of contact. Exhale, we roll over the toes, lifting the hips back and up, and we press into our downward facing dog. Feel free to customize your own vinyasa to your practice, to your needs on this specific day. You are in control of your own intensity dial, so you decide when to turn it up, when to turn it down. Just taking a nice deep breath here. We're going to walk the hands back to meet the feet this time, coming back into our forward fold. So this time we are going to get into those hamstrings a little bit here. So we're going to lift up our feet and slide the palms under. Allow the crown of the head to release towards the floor. And as we do that, we want to start straightening into the legs, lifting the hips. Again, it's okay if those knees are bent. We're just gently working into the back of the legs, pulling the torso close to the thighs, bending into the elbows. See if you can rock your weight forward and back, giving yourself a nice little massage on the palms. The toes are in the wrist crease here. Release the hands. We're going to roll up to standing one more time. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, upward handstand, just taking a few steps forward. Exhale, we swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, look out and lengthen, sliding the fingertips up the shins. Exhale, forward fold. 2 more. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale, look out and lengthen. Let it go, forward fold. Planting those hands on the mat, bringing the right foot into the center line. We're going to step back with that left foot, coming into our lunge pose. Dropping the knee, untuck the toes. And we start to shift the hips forward as we peel the torso back, reaching the arms overhead, biceps frame the ears. Nice deep breaths here, feeling a nice sensation in the front of the left hip. Nice deep breaths. Moving into our side bend, we release the right hand towards the mat, and we lean over towards that right side, getting into the left side body here. Again, utilizing the block if you need to here. Whatever makes these poses more accessible to you and more comfortable for you. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, release the left hand down, maybe using the block. And we lean over to the left, feeling a nice opening in the right side body. Rise back to center. Let it go, hands frame the foot. Tuck the toes, straighten into that back leg. Lunge pose. Step the right foot back to meet the left, plank pose, moving through a vinyasa. Inhale, we shift forward. Exhale, lower down halfway and hold chaturanga. Inhale, pull the upper body through, cobra or up dog. Exhale, pressing those hips back and up, downward facing dog. Again, just taking a few deep breaths here. Coming back to the intention you set at the beginning of our practice. Checking in on how you are feeling. On your next inhale, sweep that right leg high to the sky, coming into a 3-legged dog. Bend and straighten that leg, maybe circle it out, just opening up that right side hip. Getting more of an external hip opener in this pose. Inhale, we elevate the pose, lifting on to the left toes. We're gonna move into a lunge from here. So we shift our weight forward, draw the knee close to the nose, and we step the foot. So it's okay if your foot lands back here. Eventually, you lift enough and the hands are in between, the feet are in between the hands. We're in a lifted lunge here. We have a nice strong back leg. We're high on the ball of the toes, and we have nice lifted hips here. We don't want to sink in the hips. Press down to rise up into your high crescent lunge. We're pulling the front body back. There's a slight tuck in the tailbone here, but again, we're lengthening through the upper body. We're rooting through the lower body. Nice deep breaths here. See if you can bend into the front knee just a little bit more. On your next inhale, we cartwheel open towards the left, keeping that front knee bent. We're changing the back foot to a 90-degree angle. We want to grip through the blade edge of the foot. Our body is squared to the left, and we have a nice strong gaze through the fingertips for our warrior 2 pose. On your next inhale, straighten that front leg. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. 2 more. Inhale, straighten into that front leg. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, warrior 2. Flip that right palm, reaching forward until you can't reach anymore. And exhale, reach the right arm back and over, sliding the left hand down the back of the left leg, coming into our reverse warrior 2. We're exalting this pose. So we want to take a look at that front knee. We want to make sure we continue to track the knee forward. When we exalt the pose, we have a tendency to pull out or straighten into that knee. So just be aware of that, keeping a nice 90-degree bend with the front thigh. Nice deep breaths, rolling the chest open, lifting the gaze towards the sky. Let it go, warrior 2, bending that front arm. We're going to place the right forearm on the right thigh. We reach the left hand high to the sky, coming into our extended side angle pose. Feeling a nice opening in the groin here. We want to focus on rolling the tailbone under and pulling our chest back. So imagine you're stuck between 2 panes of glass. You can hold here, or to get a little bit deeper into those hips, you can move your hand to a block or the floor, whatever works for you. I personally love using a block in this pose, but everyone is different. Nice deep breaths here. Really working into those legs today. We're toning our muscles. We're strengthening our muscles. Nice deep breaths. Release the left hand down. We're going to bring the hands to frame the foot, pivoting on the left foot. Step the right foot back, plank pose. Move through a vinyasa at your own pace, or just press back to down dog, whatever works for you. On your next inhale, sweep the left leg up, rolling the left hip on top of the right. Bend and straighten that leg. Maybe take those circular rotations. Again, just exploring your left hip. On your next inhale, elevate the pose, rising high onto the right tippy toes, shifting forward into our lunge pose. We're going to take the shoulders forward of the wrists, tucking the knee into the chest, and then see if you can kick your heel forward, planting the hand between the foot. Nice, strong lunge stance. Engage those legs and press down into the floor to rise into your high crescent lunge. Again, focus on pulling the front body back, tucking that tailbone. It's okay if there's a bend in that back knee. Nice, deep breaths. Maybe see if you can widen your stance just a little bit if you want more of a challenge today. We're going to cartwheel open into our warrior 2. So squaring the shoulders and the hips to one direction and bringing the eye gaze through the fingertips. We also want to engage those arms here, drawing the shoulder blades to touch behind the back. Nice deep breaths. We want to breathe through any sensations. Those muscles are working. We want to send some nice fresh oxygen throughout the body just to rejuvenate the muscles. Finding our pumping warriors, we inhale, straighten into that front leg, lift and lengthen. Exhale, warrior 2. 2 more. Inhale, straighten, lift and lengthen. Exhale, warrior 2. Last one, inhale, we straighten into the leg, warrior 2. Exalting this pose, we want to flip that left hand, reaching forward, and then we exhale, Reaching up and over with that left hand, sliding the right hand down the right leg. Shining the chest towards the ceiling. Again, watch out for that knee. We want to track the knee forward. Getting that nice 90-degree bend. I know those quad muscles are starting to burn. Just come back to that intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Warrior 2. Go ahead and bend the front arm, placing the forearm on the left thigh. Reach the right arm high to the sky. Our extended side angle, pulling the torso back, tucking the tailbone under. Nice deep breaths. Again, for more of a stretch into those hips, maybe take the hand to the block or the floor, whatever works for you. Again, just finding ways to make these poses more accessible to you. Nice deep breaths. Release the right hand down, both hands frame the foot. Pivot on the toes and step the left foot back to meet the right plank pose. Moving through a vinyasa at your own pace or simply pressing back to down dog. Just taking 5 deep breaths here. Just calming down the body a bit. We've been working hard. We're going to move into a little bit of a twist from here. So we want to take the feet out wide, so to about the width of your mat. Again, shifting our weight into the back body. You can walk the hands back just a little bit to shorten the stance. We're going to take that right hand, we're going to thread it under the body and grab the left ankle. So once you've made that connection, see if you can pull the upper body through, twisting over to the left side. Eye gaze is under the arm. Nice deep breaths. Exhale, let it go. And we take the left hand, connect it to the right ankle, and then we pull the body open towards the right. We're rolling the left rib cage under, peeling the right rib cage open. Let it go. Down dog. Shorten your stance here. Maybe pedal out the feet. Whatever feels good for you. Inhale, sweep the right leg high to the sky. Three-legged dog. Shift forward. Step the foot between the hand. Lunge pose. We're going to cartwheel all the way open towards the left and straighten into the front leg. Finding our triangle pose, we're going to flip that right palm. Keep the hips where they are. Even sit the hips back just a little bit. Reaching forward with just the torso until you can't reach anymore. Then we're going to windmill the arms. So the right hand lowers down towards the floor, and we reach the left arm open. This is a really good place to use a block, or you can rest the hand on the shin, the foot, the floor, whatever works best for you. In triangle pose, again, we really want to imagine we're squished between two panes of glass, so we're tucking the tail under, pulling the chest back. Nice deep breaths. You might feel a nice sensation along the back of the hips. Nice deep breaths. Lower that left hand down. We're going to square off the hips. So maybe you adjust the stance just a little bit, shortening it off. So the right toes are pointing forward. We have a 45-degree angle with the back foot. We're going to bring our hands to hips and rise to standing with a flat back. Okay? So from here, we're going to bend into the front knee, shifting our weight into the right foot. See if you can float that back leg off of the ground. When you found your balance, we're going to bring the left knee up, flexing the foot, and then we're going to swing the left leg around the right. So you can connect at the knees. Maybe you can make that second connection wrapping at the ankles. We inhale the arms overhead, and exhale, swing the right arm under the left, hooking at the elbows, maybe hooking at the wrists. Our eagle pose here. We're focusing on pulling the right shoulder down, lowering the left hip. See if you can focus your gaze on a non-moving object here. It's totally normal to be wiggly. In this pose, we're working both hemispheres of the brain. Nice deep breaths. Go ahead and release the arms. Taking nice airplane arms here. We're going to unbind the foot, again lifting up that left knee. Moving into warrior 3, we're going to shift the leg back, lowering the chest towards the floor, lifting the left leg. Warrior 3, airplane pose. Again, it's totally okay if you fall out. The most important part is just getting back in, trying again. Nice deep breaths. Final breath here. And exhale, we release the hands down. We're going to bend the left leg, tuck the left knee into the chest, and lower the left leg down. Inhale, sweep the right leg high to the sky, and go ahead and walk the hands back. See if you can place the hands on that left foot. We're coming into our standing split pose. So the crown of the head releases towards the earth. We're pulling the torso close to the thigh, and we're opening up through that right hip. Feeling that nice sensation along the back of the left leg. And lower down, forward, fold. Maybe wiggle out those feet, the backs of the legs. Might be feeling it right now. From your forward fold, step the right foot back, then the left foot back, plank pose. Moving through an optional vinyasa, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Go ahead and drop the knees, coming into a child's pose. We're going to be here for 5 breaths, just giving yourself a little bit of time to rest before we move into the other side. Slowly making your way back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that left leg high to the sky, opening up the hip. Shifting forward, we step into our lunge pose. Go ahead and pivot on the back foot, cartwheeling open, straightening that leg, coming back into our triangle pose. We're going to flip the left palm, reaching forward, shifting the hips back. And when we can't reach anymore, lower the right hand down, reaching the left arm down, reaching the right arm high to the sky. Maybe using a block here just to keep nice and lifted. Again, tucking the tailbone under, pulling the torso back. Feeling a nice stretch along the inside of the left leg, through the groin muscles. We're helping to stabilize the pelvic floor, strengthening those muscles. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Shortening off your stance, we're going to square the hips towards the front of the mat. Bring your hands to hips and rise to standing with a flat back. So moving into our eagle pose, we're going to bend the left knee, start to shift your weight into the left foot. See if you can float the back leg up. Once you're feeling balanced, go ahead and bend the knee, bringing the right knee into the chest. Ooh. And then we're going to swing the right leg over, hooking at the knees. Maybe you can make that second connection. We inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, swing the left arm under. So we want to focus on squaring off the body here. So bringing that right shoulder down, lowering the left hip in line with the right. We're tucking the tailbone under. We have a nice flat spine. Imagine that you're sitting back against a wall. We have a nice flat back. We don't want to lean forward here. Final breath here. And we swing those arms open, finding our airplane arms. And then we release the bind with the legs. Again, lifting the knee. Once you found your balance, we start to lean the chest forward, sending the right leg back. Warrior 3. We want to focus on keeping the chest lifted. We don't want to lower the chest towards the floor. So again, we want to keep lifted through the spine, engaging the muscles in the low back. Nice deep breaths. Release the hands towards the mat, hugging the right knee into the chest, and then lower the right leg down. Inhale, we sweep the left leg high to the sky, coming into our standing split. We're walking the hands back towards that right foot. Maybe place the hands on the foot, maybe bind the ankle. We're just lowering the crown of the head towards the earth. Exhale, let it go, lowering the left leg down, forward fold. Go ahead and bend the legs, shaking it out. Plant the hands on the earth, step the right foot back, step the left foot back, plank pose. Moving through an optional vinyasa, we'll meet in downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep the right leg high to the sky. Three-legged dog. We're moving into our pigeon pose. So we begin to shift our weight forward, bend the right knee in towards the chest, and then we lower the knee between the hands, untucking those back toes. We want to focus on squaring off the hips here. And we want to see if we can bring that front shin parallel to the earth. Parallel to the top of the mat. So the more the foot is in towards the groin, the less confrontational this pose is going to be. So just finding whatever intensity works for you. And then we begin to walk the hands out, lowering the torso towards the mat. So if this is too much on the outside of your right hip, go ahead and sit on a block. That's going to make it a little bit more accessible to any of us who are experiencing discomfort in our hips. And then just giving yourself time to relax here. Taking 5 deep breaths. See if you can match the length of your inhale to the length of your exhale. Slowly rising out of this pose, we walk the hands back, lifting the chest. And we're going to swing that left leg up and over, bending the knee, placing the left foot on the outside of the right thigh. Inhale the arms overhead, keeping a nice flat spine. Exhale, twist over to the left, hooking the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. We're planting the left hand at the base of the spine. As we inhale, we lengthen through the spine. As we exhale, we twist over to the left, taking the gaze over the shoulder. Nice belly twist here. We're starting to massage our internal organs, helping to detoxify the body. We're aiding digestion. We counter the twist by bending over towards the right, just to release the low back. From here, we're going to unhook the knees, extending the legs forward, coming into our seated staff pose. Inhale the arms overhead. The sits bones are ground into the earth. We have a nice long spine. As you exhale, we forward fold, lowering the torso onto the thigh. Nice deep breaths. See if you can keep the spine straight here. We have a tendency to round through the spine. We don't want to do that. So see if you can keep the spine straight. You can bend into the legs if you need to. Just working into the backs of those legs. Slowly coming out of this pose, we're going to rock back on the hips, tuck the toes, shifting the hands forward, and we step back into our plank pose. So just rocking over the feet. From your plank pose, simply lift the hips, press back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, we sweep the left leg high to the sky, 3-legged dog. Moving into our pigeon pose, bend the left knee, shifting your weight forward, and lower the knee between the hands. Sliding that right foot back. Again, see if you can get that left shin parallel to the top of the mat as much as possible, squaring off the hips here. Once you've found what works best for you, begin to walk the hands forward, lowering down into your pigeon pose. Again, just breathing into this hip opener. The hips tend to carry a lot of stress and emotion and tension. So just being patient with yourself in this space and allowing your body to respond. Slowly rising out of this space, walking the hands back towards the hips. And then we're going to swing that right leg up and over, placing the right foot on the outside of the left leg. We inhale the arms overhead, straightening that spine. Exhale, twist over to the right, hooking the left elbow outside of the right knee and planting the right hand at the base of the spine. So as you inhale, see if you can lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, see if you can twist over to the right, taking the gaze over the shoulder. Nice deep breaths. Release, bowing over towards the left side, just to release the low back. Coming back to center, we're going to extend those legs out yet again. And then we're going to swing the right leg all the way open, coming into a straddle pose. See if you can inch the heels back just a little bit. Feeling the sits bones on the earth, we're opening up through the groin muscles. Nice flat spine here. Inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, let it go. We're going to walk the hands forward, keeping that nice straight spine, and lower the torso towards the earth. Again, being patient here. This is an intense hip opener. Working in through the sides of the legs, getting into those groin muscles. Slowly coming out of this space, walking the hands back, lifting the torso. Go ahead and swing that right leg back towards the top of the mat. Holding through our seated staff. Reach the arms forward, palms face up. As you exhale, see if you can roll all the way down to the earth, one vertebra at a time, engaging those core muscles. And then let it go, releasing into your corpse pose. Just relaxing here for a few breaths. On your next inhale, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe rock from side to side. Give yourself a big hug. Grab the outer blade edge of the feet, moving into our happy baby. We open up through the hips. We open through the knees. Flexing those feet here. And see if you can bend into the elbows, drawing the knees towards the earth. Again, maybe rocking from side to side, giving yourself a low lumbar massage. Just whatever feels good for you. Release, bringing those knees back into the chest. And exhale, send that left leg forward, keeping the right knee hugging into the chest. Moving into a belly twist here. We're going to rock the right knee over towards the left. And we reach the right arm out towards the right, taking the eye gaze through the fingertips. We're working that right knee towards the earth. And we're stacking the right hip on top of the left. So maybe you shift the hips back just a little bit here. Nice deep breaths. Maybe you close the eyes here, just starting to slow down the mind, slow down the breath. Coming into a place of relaxation. Roll back to center, hug both knees into the chest. Maybe rock from side to side, just releasing the low back after we do a twist. Exhale, extend the right leg forward, keeping the left knee hugging in towards the chest. Finding our belly twist, we rock the left knee up and over towards the right, taking the arm and the gaze out to the left. Rolling back to center, hugging both knees into the chest, giving yourself one final hug. And then let it go, finding your corpse pose. Taking some time here to move into any last postures or poses that serve you. Or maybe you just find your way into your final Shavasana, allowing the feet to splay open, the palms face up by the sides. And we just begin to relax the body, relax the face, relax the jaw. Closing the eyes here, finding nice, deep breaths. And really see if you can give yourself these next few moments of class to fully relax and disconnect. Slowly starting to bring some movement back into your practice, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. Maybe inhale the arms overhead, give yourself a good morning stretch. Rolling over onto your right side, finding a fetal position, resting the head on your bicep. Whenever you're ready, press into the floor to rise into your seated position. Sitting crisscross applesauce. The tailbones are grounded on the earth. We have a nice long spine here. Maybe roll the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. Keeping the eyes closed here. Bring the hands to heart center. Maybe tuck the chin towards the chest. I'd like to close practice by thanking each of you for showing up on your mat today, for joining me for the 60-minute flow. More importantly, take a moment to thank yourself for making a healthy decision for your day. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And from my heart to yours, namaste.